Good morning, and welcome to another edition of To The Point. It is Wednesday, January 15th, 2020. As usual, on this day of the week, we facilitate representatives of the government. And this morning, I have in studio with me representatives of the National Celebrations Committee and the Made in Grenada Expo as we prepare to celebrate Grenada's 46th independence. I have the chairperson of the NCC, the Celebrations Committee, John Williams, and Ernie James of the Made in Grenada Expo. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Mr. Alexis, and good morning to your listening public.
How are you? Both.
Very well.
Well, we are good.
We're good. I'm good. I'm sure Ernie's good. Yeah, we're good.
Getting ready for Independence 2020.
Yes, of course.
Where our preparations are presently.
Okay, I'd like to say good morning to you again and to you, the listening public. I'm happy as chairman of the Celebrations Committee to say that we're moving quite nicely. I want to thank the members of the committee for working so hard and making sure that systems are put in place. So thus far, as you know, we had the launch on the 30th of December, and we continue to move forward. The next main event coming up, or two main events on the 25th of January, we have the Island-wide motorcade. This is something that we look forward to every year. We get to go out to all the communities. We get to stop off at the various main locations around the island. We'll be kicking off from Burns Point at 9 o'clock, go through St. George's, and from there, River Road. We take the road up to the lane, down to the Karani James Boulevard, and we use the eastern side of the island. We'll be making stops at the Green Gate roundabout area. We do stops there, and then from there we move on to St. David's towards the police station. We move to Latante, up to Grenville, then we move up to Sauters, and then make our way down the western side. So all systems are in place for that. We hope to have a number of Calypsonians with us and to expose ourselves to the communities and let them know exactly what is taking place, and to ensure that, you know, independence is really in the air. I know a lot of people are aware. We are all aware that independence starts is on the 7th of February, but it's nice to know that, you know, we have reached 46 years. It's a climax for us, small developing country, and to see the enthusiasm and the response of, you know, most, if not all, of Grenadans is very heartening. So that is something we'll be kicking off with as a main activity on the 25th. And in the evening, of course, you know, we have the Independence Calypso show in Sauters. And I'm happy to report on behalf of the coordinator who, because he's been so busy for this week, he was unable to join us this morning. But he tells me that the 12 finalists are been rehearsing. They've been going through the ropes. As you know, there will be 11 contestants to go against Sour Serpent, who is the reigning champion. Beautification, because you have 15 constituencies and they all do things differently. But also to include a sense of national cleanup, a sense of pride, so that after independence has come and gone, there will be this sustainable initiative, so that if there's an area that has been identified as a clean, in addition to the beautification, then that should go on for the rest of the year, maybe up to Christmas and up to Carnival, so that between now and when we get to our 50th anniversary, I would like to think that within all of the communities and all of the areas and all of the constituencies, there will be at least half a dozen places that have been identified by the communities to preserve and protect and to keep clean, and it's not just for independence. It is my area, it is my community, it belongs to us. Let's keep it clean. Let me give you an example. I was walking along St. George's last week. This is for real. And this young lady, along with her mother, she was walking along Gold Street, and she drops a bag, right in the middle of the road, and she walks on. So I stopped her. I said, "Excuse me, you know, you're littering. Do you mind picking it up? That's an offense to do that." She looks at me as if to say, "Well, what are you talking about?" And I said, "Go on, pick it up. You ought not to do that. You know, She then strips, moves her head forward and walks on. So I turned and said, "Well, that's not nice. That's disgusting." Her mother turns to me and said, "What? It's none of your business. What are you doing? Leave her alone. It's none of your business." I said, excuse me, you're the mother and you're telling me it's not my... You actually saw what your daughter did and you turning to me now and said, I am wrong to correct your daughter, to tell her to pick up what she has dropped. So that tells you about our mindset, that there is a need for us to revisit the need to keep our communities and our area clean.
Sure.
And we are working along with Grenada Grain Group, the G3. And one of the things that I like about what they are doing is to encourage people to keep areas clean, to make sure that there is this consciousness of how we protect and preserve our own little communities. Because we have people from, tourists come here every year. And believe it or not, they travel the world, so they can compare, they look at places. And one of the things people tend to look at is the cleanliness of a place. And if it looks in any way, shape or form, you tend to think, you're afraid to eat at the restaurants, you're afraid to eat at with the vendors, you're afraid to do things because the place in itself is very untidy. But if it's nice and crisp and clean, and you feel good about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things I want us to encourage from between now to the 50th anniversary, that we don't just paint our walls and paint the areas, our stone, but we have this consciousness of the beautification of the area or areas. So within each communities, Lawson, we can say, let's have a drive through. I'm just using Monlong I'm just using as an example, and because then I said, boy, there's an area there that is really nice and clean. They cut the grass there and it's looking nice. Let's take a drive up there. We're going up the grain. We stop off and we look at it and appreciate what it is. And if we can do that in all of the communities, think of the feeling, the impact. Schools can talk about it. You can encourage the schools. So at the end of the day, it would be a win-win for everyone. And not just because it's national celebrations or not because it's independence, but this is we thing. This is our area. Right. And if John Williams go through and he drops a bit of drops litter, someone can say, excuse me. Pick it up.
Right.
Yeah. But if it's there already, my one amongst 20 is no big deal.
Right.
So these are the things we need to look at, especially when we look at beautification and trying to get to the meaning of celebrations and national pride and so forth and so on. Mm-hmm. Continue?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I know my friend Adina is waiting. I won't be too long on the aspect. Yes. And then, of course, we have the interministerial competition. Right, I'm sure you've seen some of those,
yes,
and you've been, and I've always admired the effort by the ministries.
Yes.
They do take pride and they're very creative. I've seen some creativities in some of the ministry. I won't call names, obviously, but it just goes to show that when we come together, we work as a team, and we make things happen. Mm-hmm. Then we can be a force to be reckoned with. And so we have that coming up. This one is a competition, and I'm encouraging persons, once the decorations have been done, go to the ministries, see what has been done.
Right.
Yeah, and I also inviting the press to go along and get as many photo shoots as possible, not just for the winners, but for all the others.
Yeah,
okay?
they usually do.
Yeah, I know. But we like to run with this, and then we have National Colours Day, of course, on the 6th. This a given. I love the colours. I think I've said it before and I'll say it again for the benefit of listeners who might not have heard me say this. Our colours is recognised, or especially our flag, our national flag. If you check the Commonwealth and check across the world and you Google, there's the three most beautiful flags in the world, Grenada will come up. And it has been known to be a most colourful and very creative flag.
Vibrant,
our colours is second to none. When you see whether it's green mixed with red or red mixed with gold and gold, all three mixed together, it is unbelievable.
Sure.
You see our athletes going out, you see them at the airport and in their colours, you think, wow, So we have a lot to be thankful for, and we'll be doing our national colours on the 6th, and we're encouraging persons, if you have not yet got your shirts and your bits and pieces, get it, because we want to look good. And so when the tourists come through or walk through town, they can, look and say, I'd like to come back to this place because it's looking good. So we have that celebration. Also, we're in collaboration with Food and Nutrition. They'll be launching their dietary guidelines on the 5th. So there's going to be a big thing at the Botanical Gardens being organized by them in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture and all of the other core groups around the island. So it's something to look forward to, and that's going to be on the 5th of February. So on that day we have the national colors on the 6th, and the 5th we have the collaboration with the Food and Nutrition at Sir Matthew Gary's Botanical Garden. So that is something to look forward to. And as we move forward to the big day, Independence 7th, and I'm sure that's where Ernie's going to come in a little while to talk about all the work. They've been working so hard in that area, so I'm going to speak quickly so I can give him a chance to speak. But we have the Independence celebrations that's going to take place at the Karani James Athletics Stadium. And the band, the police band, we're looking forward to something very spectacular this year. But most importantly, following the rally, or prior to the rally, we want to encourage people to go to the Made in Grenada Expo Road to Dubai. So I think at this point, I'm going to hand over to my friend and colleague, and then come back to you for anything else.
Sure, no problem.
Good morning, Blossom.
Morning.
And thank you for having me on the program.
No problem.
Well, my colleague here, Mr. Williams, he spoke a lot. Yes, man. And he mentioned a lot of activities, so you can see that the National Celebrations Committee is very active. And the Ministry of Trade, we have partnered with them for the past 6 or 7 years. And our main role is to promote the Made in Grenada Expo. As you may be aware, the Ministry of Trade is responsible for promoting locally made products so that we can get the products out regionally and also internationally. That's our main focus, one of our main focus as a ministry. But in terms of the Made in Grenada Expo, it's happening this year again at the Karani James Athletics Stadium. It will be on the outside, like the car park area.
Okay.
Yeah, more like the grass area. We'll be setting up tents, having chairs and tables and so forth. And manufacturers, agro-processors, they can register, come and display and sell their products there. Over the years, they've been having some amazing products of different kinds and colors and everything, and even the taste. Some of the products that you get an opportunity to taste or sample on the day, you'll wonder, are these products actually made in Grenada?
Right.
Yes, and when you look at the packaging and labeling, it's amazing. And we're encouraging the manufacturers and agro-processors to start calling the ministry and come and register. There's a registration process where you come to the ministry, you complete your form, you indicate whether you want 1 table or 2 tables, 1 table with 2 chairs, or 2 tables with 4 chairs. And there's a cost. It's a small cost, and the cost hasn't changed over the years. It's like $50 and you get 1 table and 2 chairs. Or if you think you can afford a tent, you can get your own tent so that you can have your own space and display your products and interact with the customers that pass through on that day. So it's happening on Independence Day. We start at 1 p.m., but we're encouraging persons to come and set up from 12 noon. They set up, so at 1, they start displaying and selling the products, and we end at about 6:30, so we can wrap up by 7. This year, we will have lighting under the tents, because last year it got dark pretty early, maybe by Minister 6.
Right.
You could hardly see some of the products under the tents. So this year we learned from that, and we're going to improve. So we're encouraging persons to come out. We're also encouraging the public, when you come to the national celebrations activity on Independence Day, take a time, come over to the expo, look, walk with extra money if you want to purchase something or two, and interact with the vendors or the exhibitors, and you can get to know a little more about the history of them, the products, how they struggle in order to get a product to that level. And you'll wonder, how did they come up with that idea. So we're encouraging persons to come out there, including young people, because young people, they are very creative and innovative. So they might come and they might get an idea and they might want to start their own business. So if they come, they can have an idea of what to produce, what to get into, and they can know that there are opportunities out there, because we have local trade show or expo, and then you have regional, and then you have the big one, which is the international expo. So like this year, we have one or two of the participants. They will be taking part in Dubai 2020, which is actually being promoted by the International Business Unit.
Right.
Right.
In the ministry.
Yeah, in a different ministry. So they have responsibility in terms of promoting that. So you will get a chance to learn more about that during the coming months, because it's run from October 2020 to April 2021. So some of the manufacturers and agro-processors, they'll be able to go and display their products in Dubai and interact with international customers and potential buyers out there. So we encouraging persons there, agro-processors, producers, come register. Once you have a locally made product, just contact the ministry. Don't be afraid. You might be somewhere out in St. Andrew or even St. Patrick, and you may wonder, is my product really good enough to be at the expo?
Right.
Just call us. You can walk with a sample when you come and visit, and we'll have a discussion, and then we will sign up the form and you will pay your fee in the treasury. So basically, that's the main thing about the expo, and we want to thank the National Celebrations Committee for working with us over the past years. They have been very accommodating, and we look forward to working with them this independence, 46th independence.
All right. Let's take a quick break and come back inside and continue the discussion. We're speaking Independence 2020, the 46th Independence celebrations of Grenada. Keep it locked right here to Classic. We're taking a very busy break and come back inside.
Wait to see my granddaughter.
Welcome back to The Point for today, Wednesday. I have in studio with me Chairperson of the National Celebrations Committee, John Williams, as well as Ernie James, who is part of the planning committee for the Made in Grenada Expo that takes place on Independence Day, February 7th at the National Stadium, the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Gentlemen, specific to the Expo, what has the reception been from members of the public in terms of the products that are on display and the event itself, that we're getting a chance to see locally made products?
Well, over the years, the response from the public, the response has been good, because they get to interact with the exhibitors, they get to sample certain products, they get to purchase, and they like the quality. And most time you will hear feedback like, I did not know this item it's actually made in Grenada.
Right.
I may see it on the supermarket shelf, but I may not pay attention of whether it's made locally because of the quality of the packaging and the labeling. So most time when they come and they look at the product, they give positive feedback. Even from the exhibitors, they give positive review because they get sales, or they even meet people who visiting from overseas. So they get opportunity to make contacts with these people regionally and even internationally. So the feedback is good from both the exhibitors and from the general public. Everybody loves to see the expo, and it's very colorful.
What are some of the products that are on display, and maybe what are the popular ones?
Well, I do not want to identify which are the popular ones, but you get a wide variety of products like craft, art. You get agro-processing products like jams and jellies. You get bottling companies like water. You get other jewelry, art. I mentioned art and craft and so forth. A lot of products that you get to see.
Are there any plans, or how you think you can further develop the expo and encourage more vendors as well as members of the public to actually purchase and participate?
Well, we've been reviewing this, but we have a space limit. So most time we try to accommodate between 60 to 65 exhibitors because of the space. So that's something we've been looking at, and every year we've been trying to do more promotion so we could encourage new exhibitors to come forward. And we do it by a first come, first basis in terms of registration. So we're encouraging persons to come and register early so they can be part of the expo before we have that deadline. The cutoff, we normally try to cut off at the end of January so that we can have an idea of how to display the exhibitors.
Right.
So that's how we operate from the Ministry of Trade.
Just before you, Mr. Williams, viewers, listeners, 435-2041, if there are questions you'd like to ask or concerns you'd like to share with members of the Celebrations Committee as we prepare for independence, 435-2041. You can also WhatsApp in your questions. Do not video or voice call the WhatsApp. Just type in your questions and I will ask them for you. Yes, Mr. Williams, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Just to add to what Ernie said, for this year in particular, because the collaboration has been very good over the years with the Grenada Made in Expo, the Grenada Made in Grenada Expo.
Right.
And what we're trying to do this year is to encourage persons to give support. So we're in the planning stages. So as person enter the stadium, Carolina James, instead of going straight into the seating bowl at the stadium, we want to close that off. So we channel people into the expo.
Makes sense.
Spend some time there. So at least they'll get a chance to speak to the vendors, sample some of the products, see exactly what's on offer. So at least the expo will have had some exposure and not have people running straight into this stadium. And then maybe if they're thinking of going, it might be too late or so forth and so on. So this is one of the plans, to have people channel into the expo. Give them at least 2 hours there, so because we are made to understand it's 1 o'clock start. By 3 o'clock, we have a cultural presentation at the stadium. So we would allow for the stadium to be open maybe about 2:30 for us to have at least an hour for this presentation or cultural. And that would then follow immediately by the arrival of the military band, and then we can go straight into the parade by the Royal Grenada Police Force. But at least we will have people having to be channeled into that area
into
there.
The expo, right.
And I think that would be a good thing for us. And I've seen some of the products, and over the years, I'm sure you will have traveled yourself. And when I see the products that are produced here, compared to other places you stop up at Cozumel or what, and you buy a souvenir, and you think, that's 30 or 25 or 40 US dollars. And then you think, wow, in Grenada you can get it for half the price, looking much better or a little bit more creative, because the people here spend time, they take time and effort, not like the bigger countries. So I think it's important for us to give support to our Made in Grenada, let people know we should be proud, not just for our celebrations, but again, this is something that's been produced here in Grenada, and allow for us and for these vendors and to benefit.
And let me just say that the Ministry of Trade, we try to help agro-processors, manufacturers in terms of developing their products, because last year, October, we had a workshop in terms of packaging and labeling. So we work with the agro-processors and manufacturers in terms of improving the standard of the product. So as the Ministry of Trade, we help with technical assistance in that area.
Okay, let's take our first phone call of the program. Good morning.
Good morning, Blossom.
Morning.
And to your guest, good morning. With regards to the Calypso competition for the independence, I observe that there is a restriction in terms of age, and I believe in order to keep this product going, there probably should be maybe a junior show that would roll over into the senior, or sooner or later the whole Calypso thing might just die. This is just a concern, and I believe that it is important or imperative for them to start with the decorations earlier, because we have less than a month to put up and then to put down. And with regards to the show at Grenville, I believe that we need to do more ads in and around the town. For example, maybe one of the loudspeakers that we use during election time, if we could take it to the community, so we have more people's participation at these shows, and you don't hire people saying, well, I didn't know about it, or the show, was not successful. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you, and I'd just like to respond by saying, I think the points raised are very valid. The Independence Calypso show in particular, one of the things we have to consider is there is a limit, age 18 and over. So whereas I would accept the fact that it's an opportunity to have youngsters, but not in competition. So I think there is room for us to maybe have something for like a junior Calypso,
right.
And allow for them. But I know the coordinator has made provisions for the youngsters if they want to take part, not in competition. So on the day, if they want to come,
make a guest appearance
and to be exposed. I think that's that is on as far as I'm aware, but it's not going to die off. I think it's people. I've seen a number of Calypsonians, young and now more senior now, and taking part in competition or just performances. But I think the point is valid that we should look at that. Also, the announcement, there are reasons for that. We had some challenges this year. I won't go into details, especially for the decoration. Normally, in past years, by now, all areas would have been properly decorated. But we've had some challenges. Those challenges have been met, and if you look within the next few or 3 days, you'll see all of the areas, most if not all, will have had their their colorful decoration. But there's a little challenge there. That was something we had little or no control over for this time around. But I think some of the points to raise, appreciate it. And as we move forward, one of the things I kept saying, as we move forward to the 50th, we should be in a position to take all these ideas on board. So come the 50th, should be an explosion. So all of the ideas can come together, and because it involves planning, it involves finance. All of the things she spoke to, whether it's the extravaganza or otherwise. Although people will be happy to sing a song, but most people want to get paid for singing a song.
Right.
Yeah, and you need the finance for it. But these are things that are making sense, and we just, as we move forward, we'll try and get them sorted out.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning, Blossom, and good morning to your guests.
Morning.
I'm making a plea to the Independence Committee. As one of the producers, can you please remove that $50 for postal? The stadium is already there. The economy is very bad. Can you remove the $50 so that people would at least make? Because many times they come down there, you don't make nothing much. So I'm asking Mr. Oni to, as small producers, yes, you provide some support, but I think it is not insufficient. I would like for you to, you and the other Caribbean countries, to lobby for us not to be under the stringent measures that is required internationally. What they are doing is bringing us back into slavery. So I think you all should do something. I went to the last workshop, and what I'm seeing is just more pressure for small producers who do not have the finances to do what they want to do to improve their status. So please, all of you, come together and try to do something better for us. And remove the $50 so more people would come, because right now and it's difficult for us. And I would ask if it is possible that if the cruise ship are in, if you could send some information to them so that they could pass to see what you have. Maybe they might be the better supporters of the display. So if you could ask them to, visit the display. And I also want to say that what you all have done is already done. But at the state of our economy, I think we should have Independence Day as a day of prayer. Because we are only regressing, not progressing. And I don't know what kind of independence we're celebrating. Have a blessed day.
Thank you, Kola.
Okay.
All right.
Conan, yeah, come up.
Yeah, thank you very much for your feedback and comments. But there is a cost in terms of running the expo, and it's very expensive. And actually, the Ministry of Trade really subsidizing the cost, because $50 is not enough to pay. We have to pay for the tents and tables and chairs and so forth, and it's a lot. If you look at our budget to even conduct the expo, sometimes we say it does not make sense, but because we love the manufacturers and agro-processors, we want to give them the opportunity to display their products so that they can get sale. The whole thing is to giving them the opportunity to be exposed locally, regionally, and internationally. And some of them, a good bit of them, they normally say yes, they sell out very early with their products, and they give good review that they actually make back their $50 in less than no time on the day. In terms of the other trade issues, well, I mean, this program is not really to discuss the other trade-related issues in terms of the policy of regional and international. But I just want to say that we have workshops in order to help develop manufacturers and agro-processors so that they can meet the regional and international standard. We also work with the Bureau of Standard in terms of testing the product quality and even packaging and labeling. So we do work with other agencies. We also work with GIDC to provide training for the manufacturers and agro-processors so that they can go out there and be competitive.
And just to add to that, the caller made mention about the cruise ship passengers being diverted down there. One of the considerations, these individuals will have been to various islands, and if your product is not up to standard and you want to channel them through there, their expectation is very high. Not that it's always in Grenada and it's, we're a small developing country and so forth. So these initiatives, I think as Connie said, just help to raise the standard and to ensure that vendors and persons involved meet the standard that are expected. Because when the tourists and others come, they say this is the standard we expect, and if it's not up to scratch, at the end of the day, it's going to be to a disadvantage. But I think these training initiatives should be seen as an investment, as an opportunity to learn, not that, to help us to make more money. Because at the trade is not to make the money, there is it, Ernie, is to expose your product. And then you may not have any money on the day, but you say, right, come tomorrow on Saturday, now I know that this product exists. I will not walk with $5. I might walk with $50, and I'll go down to town or wherever and get it. So it should be seen as an investment opportunity as opposed to an expense, because we're trying to get you up to a standard that would allow you to benefit in the future.
All right, back to the phone lines. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Citizen Welch. Greetings, how are you? And to your guests.
Not too bad, Citizen
Welch. I make no apologies for holding or having an acrimonious personality and a similarly acrimonious view and expression of this symbolic and ceremonious sham and farce of independence. I seek clarity on this whole independence thing that we celebrate every year. Therefore, I ask your guest, who, by the way, I must indeed commend him, save and except one little mistake, Edwin said they would have done certain things. Listen, man, would have doesn't tell you what has happened, okay? Can any one of them tell me? Yes, I will tell you, this gentleman seemed well learned. He seemed that he learned to express himself in the mother country, and I appreciate that. Here, can you all tell me where I can find, because my research has led me all kind of, I can't find the so-called Grenada not Constitution this time, but Independence Act. Can you tell me where I can find the Grenada Independence Act as such an important component of our history? Thank you very much, and do have a nice day, will you?
Thank you, Citizen Rulo.
Well, I guess that's a detailed one. As I sit here, I haven't got the answer to that question, and I would imagine the caller over the years will have inquired, and if he has not yet found it, then to my disadvantage, I'm not in a position to say here. And there's a lot of history, a lot of information about independence, about Grenada's independence, etc., etc. But specific to the Independent Act, I would have to maybe speak to the legal department or some of the departments, get information so the next time I come on air, I would be in a better position to answer his question. I think all questions are valid, because that's how we learn. Knowledge is power. And if we are to speak on any issue, we should be in a position to have an answer. People often say you may not have the answer now, hence the reason there are dictionaries. We can say, I haven't got the answer now, but give me 5 minutes and I can check the dictionary or the book to find out. But it's a valid question. I could, look into it and see if myself or Ernie or members of the committee would be in a position to share that answer with him. But appreciate the question. And we'll see as we move forward what happens.
Okay. One question on the WhatsApp. I have a concern with the invitation of former parliamentarians to the celebrations. I believe we should value our past parliamentary representatives, especially those who were members of parliament during the period our nation got its independence. They should be invited and seated in the VIP lounge along with the present parliamentarians.
Foreign Affairs, responsible for sending out of invitations, whilst in collaboration with National Celebrations Committee. So I don't want to take that one away in that regard. But yes, I agree. I think this is a national thing. I see it as a Grenadian. We're all Grenadians, irrespective of our political, our religious persuasions, or whatever persuasion. And that is something I'm looking at, and I would very much like to see maybe, and I'm talking of the 50th, but as we move forward, that Grenadians, all of us, try our utmost to see celebrations as, it's like a birthday celebration, it's my celebration, it's a we thing, and not them and us. So far, there is this perception, and it's reinforced in many ways, that independence is one-sided. And I'm not saying yes or no to that regard, but what I'd like to see from all of us as Grenadians, we should be proud of our independence. Forget who's in power, who's not in power. National Independence Celebration, 46 years, it's all of us. And if we all somehow look into it deeper, it's a mindset. I forget about what Blossom, or how she feels, or how Ernie feels, or what his persuasion is. And I should see it as an opportunity for me as an individual to celebrate this independence, and by extension, communities do it, and by extension, governments do it, and by extension, the whole island. So when visitors come, or when we talk about independence, we forget them and us. It is a case of our thing. The colors, the colors we spoke to, it speaks to all of us. Yeah. So whilst yes, I accept there are those, for one reason or another, may feel in a certain way, we should invite and include. It should be inclusion of every Grenadian, former, present, parliamentarians or members of cabinet or permanent secretary or a citizen. You're a citizen of Grenada, or even a visitor. You should be made comfortable enough to say, I'm going to the park to celebrate Grenada's 46th independence celebration, per se. Nothing else. Don't care who's on the stage or who's not on the stage. And if we all as a country can, look within ourselves, and I'm not going to put any blame on any group, you have your feelings for one reason or another, and sometimes it is justifiable how you
Right.
feel, about your particular way. But I think it's for us to move forward. Someone talk about regression. We're not. We're moving forward. If you speak to visitors who come to Grenada, they will think, wow, is this country? I didn't realize this country exists. Because there's a lot of good things about our country. If you go to the United States of America or any part of the continent, you will find people there. I went to Hawaii a few years ago, and I consider Hawaii, wow, a place, I'd love to live here. And I met people who were complaining about Hawaii, and they want to move over to LA, or they want to move over. And I'm thinking, what's wrong with you? This is Hawaii. But yet, they were, the indigenous, they felt they needed to get out because of one reason or another. So in all countries, you will get good, bad, or indifferent. But I think at the end of the day, we should see this, especially a celebration, we should see it as this is Grenada. This is not the color of a party. Yes, this is Grenada. And when I celebrate the 46th, I'm doing it so proudly, happily, and what comes after, how someone feels, or what someone says, should be of no consequence.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Blossom. How are you?
Not too bad.
Okay, and good morning to your guests.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Just sitting here listening to the program, and I think it is very educational. And as a child growing up, I remembered, when it came into being, it was a nice time. Sometimes, we make fuss about the history and what this record and what in record, but it is something good, and we used to look forward to it. And I think the young people now will even enjoy the same way. And look at this. We make fuss, as I said before. And the people out there, regardless of the history or whatever the case may be, people look forward to coming to our country to enjoy that occasion with us. And I think, regardless of whatever, it is a good thing, it's safe, and it's not, what should I say, causing any controversy. We are enjoying it. Have a blessed day.
Thank you,
Thank you,
caller.
caller. So true.
So true.
It's a lovely thing about it. Can I just add before I forget, my friend, the coordinator of sports will not forgive me, but the under 15 football, cricket is on.
Right.
We've had some challenges with the 2 days of the international event that's been played, but they had a good game last week. Everything is up and running. All of around the whole island, all of the clubs and the groups are heavily involved in the planning, and I must say kudos to him because a lot so far has happened. He reminded me that the playoffs is going to be on the 25th down at the Karani James for the football, and this is something I'm encouraging persons to go along and look at some good games. And
there's also women's football on the 25th as well.
That's right, yes. So a lot has been done, and I want to just thank Mr. Cummins for his hard work. He's been out there now for weeks putting things together. When you're organizing an event island-wide, it's not easy. If it's one area, no problem. But when you're talking island-wide, to coordinate and to make sure all systems are in place, the pitches, the fields, the areas, the officials, it's really a mammoth task. So I want to thank him for that. Also, I want to say this is not just a Grenada thing. This is Carriacou as well. My good colleague over in Carriacou, if she's listening, she may not forgive me for not mentioning Carriacou's celebration run in consort with us, and most of the things that we are some of the activities also take place in Carriacou.
Right.
And as far as I'm aware, things are up and running there at the moment, and I want to thank her and her team up in Carriacou for making it happen. So well done, Dr. Smart, and to the committee in Carriacou for all of the events that you have planned, and over the years have been successful in its execution. So Carriacou is along with us. They are moving forward too in terms of all of the celebratory activities.
As it relates to the parade itself, there's always something extra that Grenadians look forward to. Any word on if there'll be paratroopers this year?
Well, there was plans. I don't want to say too much. We have been approached with respect to that particular aspect, but the location is the Karani James Athletic Stadium, and as I'm not a parachuter, but I would imagine there are a lot of considerations, wind speed and positioning and everything else. Remember, a few years ago, we've had some parachuters, I think from Venezuela, if my memory serves me correctly, some of them ended up at the Port Highway, and then they had to cancel some of their jumps because on that particular time, the wind and the breeze. So we're looking at having something. I know the police, they are working on their own particular initiative. The police are always coming with something nice.
Right.
And I've spoken to them. They've had their first rehearsals yesterday. And I think this year is something to look forward to. They have something special. But we're keeping our fingers crossed that we may get a jump from one of the friendly countries. And if that is more or less confirmed, I'll be able to, next time we come on the program, I can speak to that and say, well, come out because we have something exciting, taking place.
There's a question on the WhatsApp. If you can quickly recap the dates and parishes of the various events.
Right. First and foremost, 25th is the Island-wide motorcade, along with the Independence Calypso Show. The following weekend, we have the extravaganza in Grenville. That would be the 1st of February. And on the 2nd, we have the ecumenical service in St. Paul's, and then we have obviously the Independence celebrations on the 7th. Those are the main things. We have national colors, obviously, would be on the 6th. They're always the day before Independence, and then we have Colors Day. And what are the others? Let me just have a quick look at my list in here so that I give correct information. I think we spoke to the Interministerial, is the 6th, along with the National Colors Day and Independence Rally on the 7th. I forgot to mention, we also have the Prime Minister's Luncheon for the Elderly. This is something that we host in collaboration with the communities to have some of the elderly come along and have lunch, and it's usually very successful. I saw a woman, 102, last year at one of the luncheon, and it was hard to imagine people that this woman, she was so active, and she was on the floor, she was dancing, and I thought, wow, for that sort of individual to be so active, that was something. So so that's going to be on the 9th. And these activities, as I mentioned, run concurrently also in Carriacou. We hope to have the luncheon up there for Prime Minister with the elderly, and so forth and so on. If you want any additional information, you can always go on the our Facebook page. We're on to social media. It's National Celebrations Committee Grenada. If you go on that page, you will get all of the information, the activities, and about the theme, and because we didn't even speak to it. Our theme, as you know, is preparing for the future through empowerment, growth, and long-term sustainable development. If you go on site, the Facebook page, you will get all that information. If you need additional information, you call 440-6917. Ask to speak to Culture, the Secretariat, and we will give you any additional information that we might have missed on this morning's program.
So as we wrap up, gentlemen, just remind us the information for the expo as well as the highlight of independence for many of us, the parade.
Yes, well, the Made in Grenada Expo is happening on Independence Day from 1 p.m. to 6:30. We asking participants to register at the ministry. You can call 440-2101 to get more information. If you did not hear anything, or if you join the program late, you can also visit us at the Ministry of Trade on the Carnage for more information and to register. It's just $50 for a table and 2 chairs, and you get to display and sell your products at the Made in Grenada Expo. So I just want to thank the listening public for their time.
Okay, thank you. Just to recap, as you've said, Mr. Alexis, 25th, Independence Calypso Show, 25th, Motorcade. The following week, on the 1st, Extravaganza, All Roads leads to Grenville. and Sunday is the canonical service at St. Paul's. I also want to remind everyone it's between the 1st to the 6th week, the National Beautification Cleanup Campaign. So all communities, please be aware of that. You know, there's an opportunity for you to use that week and even beyond. It doesn't necessarily have to be that week alone. If you want to make us start earlier on, then you're quite welcome to. But the idea is to making the place look good. And of course, we have the interministerial competition, which is on the 5th or 6th of February. The collaboration with the Food and Nutrition at the Botanical Gardens for the launch. That is something quite big. A lot of work has gone into that. And then we have the 7th, which is the Independence Day Military Parade Made in Grenada Expo. And the 9th is the Prime Minister's Luncheon. Again, go online, go on the Facebook page, call 440-6917, and all the additional information that we might have missed out on, you can see it on our Facebook page. So we look forward to everyone. Go and like it and share it. And let us keep in touch with our national celebrations activities.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for passing through this morning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That brings us to the end of the program. Speaking with Chairperson of the National Celebrations Committee, John Williams, and Ernie James, a representative of the Made in Grenada Expo. That's the end of To The Point this morning. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. Keep it locked to Classic. Mid-Morning Buzz is up next. My name is Blossom, signing off today. I'll be back bright and early tomorrow, God's willing. Until then, have a great, fabulous, productive Wednesday.